Hi, I'm Daz, I'm the producer of The Drift, and we're now in the final 3 weeks before we start filming our first day of shooting principal photography. It's a little bit nervous now. It's gone from lots of big jobs to focusing on sort of specifics with the filming and stuff, to now focusing on almost sort of the first day of filming, even though there's actually 12 days of filming. I mean, it's always the way with small groups of people making big films that everything takes to the absolute latest deadline to get things finished, and that's not always an easy thing to live with in terms of day-to-day producing of the film, but it is often just the reality. And that's what I mean by the focus has changed now, because now I'm looking at what's outstanding, what do I need to have ready to shoot on day one. And I know from experience that that's a very dangerous place to be in, because if I then focus too much on, well, just making sure we're ready for the first day, well, as soon as we've done the first day, there's a second day straight after the first one. Now, we've been a little bit, I don't know if it's clever or circumstances or whatever, but we've been a little bit, we have a little bit of space between each sort of group of days, because we're generally shooting at weekends. We have a bit of breathing space, but then people are at work between the weekends, so although there's time, we don't know if there's going to be people, so the risk continues. So we're about to sort of enter a phase now where, as much as you plan and plan and plan as best as you can, you now have to work almost day to day and not quite be reactive, as in, you know, oh, we're filming tomorrow, what do I need to have done? But at the end of the day now, we have a schedule to meet, and I have to make sure that everything is done ready for each of those days. So that's what we're sort of approaching. That's quite unnerving. The other thing is now we are having time for tech rehearsals, camera rehearsals, looking at lighting, and that's something that in Backyard Productions we've never had that luxury, so that's a really good thing. Having said that, some of the stuff that we've produced over the past couple of weekends has been quite good, and some of it has been quite disastrous. Not trying to be too mean to the guys, they're doing their best, but very not good. Certainly not good enough for filming. It's the old issue again of, and it did come up about, you know, using a camcorder versus DSLR. And I know I've spoken about the DSLR before and the merits of it and how much you should spend and all that. And there was a situation where we shot something this weekend, and even though I didn't edit the short scene, you know, it was the EX1 that saved that scene. It was the EX1 footage that, with a wider depth of field, with a more forgiving lens, was able to at least have a sequence of events. Now, the DSLR shots, when they worked, were brilliant. You can't argue with it. You can't argue with that quality. But we demonstrated, although not deliberately demonstrated, the saving grace of a dedicated camcorder versus a camera that's just quick enough and capable of capturing video. You've still got a stills lens on the end. You have to have a lot of control, and you need to have a lot of experience. You can't just give somebody a DSLR and expect them to get it right. And the fact is, if you're going to use a DSLR with a lens that's as wide as the EX1 and has a broad, you know, a wide depth of field, and why are you using it? Because you don't have zoom control, Steadicam, easy white balance, good at quick exposure settings, all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to get down to the whole issue of what's better. I'm just saying that, having tested in a fairly sort of rapid environment, because we've got a lot to shoot in a very short period of time, it demonstrated that the DSLR is not an easy camera to use. So also now, in terms of crew availability and cast availability of casting is good. I think it's done, pretty much. Running a couple of risks. Captain character is someone I've had to audition online, as it were, a bit weird, because he's not available until the first day that we actually shoot. That's going to be interesting. Having said that, the captain is meant to be sort of quite distant from the crew in some ways, so actually that might help. Don't know. But he did a couple of auditions which were not what I was looking for, and then I literally just sent him a couple of lines, a quick video diary of what I needed, and then instantly he got it. So good times on that one. On the crew side, yeah, getting some more volunteers now, which is good. Call sheets are being prepared. Still some crew though not telling me, you know, I asked them to say what dates can you be here, and you get some flowery emails, well I should be able to do that and I'm pretty much mostly free for this. Yeah, it's not good enough. The one thing we learned from previous productions is that we can't have people just turn up and then find them a job. It doesn't work that way. We haven't got time and they'll end up doing nothing. I've said it on the emails already. I'll no doubt say it again on a few more emails, but we have to allocate roles to people before they turn up, because the pressure is so intense and the pace is so fast that you just don't have time to sit around and find someone something to do and then teach them how to do it. You have to know in advance, and that's where the call sheet comes in. So I've got on the call sheets lists of all the different roles. They'll never all get filled up, so there's always something for someone to do, but they need to know before they come so they can look at the job description, which I also will be pushing out as to what that job actually means, so they can look at it and be ready to go. And ideally come on a pre-production weekend, of which there are only 2 left. 2 left. Come on pre-production weekend and learn that trade, as it were, get some experience, because once the shooting starts, you know, the filming commences, it's full on, and it is just a roller coaster. It won't stop, and it can't, because we're shooting, you know, a 90-minute film in 12 days, and that's 10 hours. So it's 120 hours. That's not long at all. It's the only way, though, that we can do it. You can't get people to give you 3 months of their time for free to make a film for 3,000 quid. So if we want to make a movie, and you want to make it feature length, then this is the way you're going to have to do it, and the way we're doing it. So yeah, it's quite exciting. Starting to feel the pressure. More and more people will start to feel the pressure too, but also people are getting quite keen now to actually start getting on and let's start filming. Let's actually start making this movie now, for goodness sake. We've been building this set for God knows how long. Yeah, there are still a few bits and bobs that need sorting out. It's not quite finished. However, I think we're chomping at the bit and we want to get on with it. So let's get this set finished. A couple more weekends, get the tech sorted, and then we can crack on and make some movie magic.